Hi Shelby, I really like this logo. This is a really nice looking logo. So if we edit artboards, we got 3x3, that looks good. You're in RGB color mode, so if you go to File, Document Color Mode, just go ahead and switch that into CMYK. And then just File, save that, or Control S or Command S. I think you might be on a Windows, so it would be a Control S on your keyboard. This is looking really, really nice. You've done a really nice job with this. Okay. So I do agree the text could use a little help. Let's see if we can just make this a thicker font. Let's see. Ooh, okay, what's going on here? Oh, there's two different fonts there. So if you want to do like any kind of drop shadow, there is an option for drop shadow. Effects, where is it at? I can't remember where they are in here. Let's see, drop. Okay, so under Effect, Stylize Drop Shadow, you can find the drop shadow there. You can do outer glow, inner glow, anything like that. So if you ever need a drop shadow, you should be able to find one. This one's not too bad. This is kind of nice. What font is this? Fascinate. If you don't have Fascinate, let's see, is this a free font? Let's see, where did I get this? Yeah, I must have downloaded that from somewhere. This is the first one I found, obviously, but you know, like something bold like this would look really nice if we fill it in with that teal color. That's already looking better. I'm not saying that this is the right font choice, but like, it's not bad. If you look up Fascinate font, it's a Google font, apparently. Let's see. Where did I get that? Oh, dafont.com this is a legitimate website, even though it doesn't really look like it. But if it's dafont.com, you can download that if you like this one. I'm not saying that this one is the right one, but I like how rounded it is, and I like how bold it is. But let's see if there's some other bolded fonts. This is another one. This is also probably a free font. I don't like that one as well. I'm not saying that this is the right one. It might not have the right personality, but it has some of the right elements. This one might actually be a good one. Berg Extrude. There's also Berg Shadow, which is not really great. Berg Extrude is maybe better. That one might actually be a decent one for this. Something about the letter forms that remind me of the lightning bolts. That last font, I was kind of experimenting here with the Berg Extrude. There's a few problems with it. If you zoom in, you can see there's some weirdness with the stroke. It's not designed to be used with a stroke. We could try taking that off and seeing what it looks like without it. It's not as legible without a stroke, unfortunately. It looks a little not so good, but it's also not designed to be used with a stroke. If we go to Find More, let's see. You can do different filters. My computer's being a little goofy. That's why I had to pause the video. But if you go to Find More, you can go to Filters, and you can filter by a heavier weight. As far as a property, heavier weight might be one that you want to go with, because we want to find a heavy weighted font. Under Find More, these are Adobe fonts, so these connect to the internet. You're going to want to have your Creative Cloud application launched, and you will see a sample of, and you can go down the list and just see if you like any of these. Sometimes it's almost easier to go to a free fonts website than using Adobe fonts. So something like Dafont, going to just the home page. Fonts are tricky though. I have to admit, you know, I really do have to say. So, you know, there are some different options here. One of the better ones might be Font Squirrel. They are a legitimate font website for free fonts. They also have fonts that you have to pay for. But some of these popular fonts that you just see right off the bat are pretty nice fonts. If you want to try to find certain properties, you can look over here. Bold might be a good one to look under. So maybe if you like this one, you could download that. This one might not be bad, download that. This one might not be too bad. I think just something bold, but not too playful, but also not too strict looking, which is very general, honestly. And something legible, obviously. We want something legible. This thing, you can't read that, so we don't want that one. This one might not be bad. So you can go through and just download a bunch of fonts. Those will go in your downloads, and then we can just click on that and install. And just remember the name of it. It's Bevan. So if we go back in here, come here, go into fonts. I'm going to take off my filter. Here's Bevan. Definitely is bold. That's not too bad. I do like the stroke on it that you had. So let's just put the stroke back on. 9%. Totally black here. Why didn't that work? God dang it. Yeah, there's black here. The stroke maybe is too thick, so we want to do 0.75 or maybe even 0.5. That's not terrible. There are some issues with kerning. You can put your cursor and push Alt, I believe, on a Windows. On Mac, it's Option, and then use your left or right arrow on your keyboard to tighten up certain areas that are maybe too wide. Some of these have some pretty big spaces in them, in between the letter forms, so you might have to do that in a couple areas with this particular font. So you may have to end up kerning. Designs, maybe this would look good as like a scripty type font. I have some pretty good scripts, I think. Obviously, scripts are tough because they can be hard to read sometimes. Gravitas 1 is kind of a cool font, but let's see. We want to find a script that we can read really well. This one's kind of nice, and it's still bold, which is kind of hard to find in a... I'm not saying I love that, but maybe something similar. I mean, sometimes it's just all about going through and just experimenting. I do think, a good rule of thumb is just to maybe try to go bold with it. And try to, I think maybe a font that's bold, that is easy to read, obviously. This one is, a Fascinate font is kind of getting me. I feel like it might be a little too zany, but something along with this line might not be a bad idea. This one's not terrible. It does remind me of Dracula a little bit, so I don't know. It's not bad, actually. Gil Sans is actually not bad. And then this script font might look kind of nice. You may, like I said, some of these are going to need kerning. Alt on the keyboard and the keyboard, and use your keys, your left and right arrow keys, to possibly tighten up certain spaces that might need to be tightened up a little bit. That's not too bad. If you want a drop shadow, you know, you can try your effects, stylize, drop shadow, and then you can do like normal. Make sure the preview's on. We don't want it to be blurry. We want it to be completely, and we want the offset to be pretty dang close to, let's see, not that close. Maybe a 0.125. Check that. That's still too, like maybe 0.125. There. And then the color, we can change that. I mean, we probably want to use one of your colors that you used in your logo, obviously. Let's say I have, let's go in here. Is this it? I think so. You do have 4 colors. Okay. So like you could do that. I don't know if you want to try to offset this. Oops. I don't want to. Let's use the rotate tool. I don't know. And I'm not sure if this is the right font for designs. But maybe. And you might want to try Thunder Woman on, I don't know if you do or not. I think it probably makes sense to have it on 2 lines. I was just trying this out. No. Yeah, I'd say something maybe along these lines. I don't think this is necessarily the total correct font to use, but I do like that it's a script font that's easy to read and it is still bold. So if you can find those qualities in a script, if you want to go with a script for designs, you could try a different type of font for designs. You know, you can just go down the list. It is really hard. You can spend a long time on fonts, honestly, but as long as you can get that contrast in there, in style and weight, and that's going to help. So, and even with this Gill Sans, I wonder if there isn't a bold. That might be even better. Yeah, maybe. I do like the Gill Sans quite a bit. So once you get your font figured out, though, remember to create outlines on those, so that if somebody's opening up your logo file, they don't need your fonts installed necessarily. So, and definitely with this one, if you do end up using Gill Sans, remember to kern it. It can be hard at first to learn how to kern and where do I need to kern. But really, you just need that to look balanced. This word just needs to look balanced and even in all the letter forms. All right, so I think that's decent. I don't know if this is necessarily the right font. It could be a script. You could potentially use a different kind of font that isn't script as well. But just make sure you go legible with it. Something that has good contrast. So it's something you're just going to have to kind of experiment with, honestly. Sometimes you just have to go down the list. And I have quite a few fonts that I've downloaded over the years. I don't like this type of script. It's too hard to read. It's too formal. So you definitely want to find a script that is, this one's not too bad. What's this called? I don't know if you can remember that, if you can try to find that. I probably found it on a free website. That one might not be a bad idea. Anyway, hopefully you can figure something out. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm sorry that this is such a long video.